If I satisfy this condition, only then that part will be true block will be executed. Please observe, your first letter of the program should be in the uppercase. I can branch or I can jump based on two things. First one is conditional branching, another one is unconditional branching. It is not mandatory that I should have only one statement or will allow it only for one statement. No, it is not like that. You can have n number of statements. Hello everyone, I welcome all of you to the wonderful yet another session, that is decision making and branching. So guys, this is going to be the first session on this topic, and I'm here, Kaushik KS, lecturer in Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram First Grade College. Alright, what is that I will be discussing today? So I have these many topics. Before I get into these topics, I recommend all of you to have a notepad next to you, or if you are keeping a Java notes, so I recommend all of you to have that next to you before you start watching this video. And also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please don't forget to click on the bell button, and also please don't forget to click on the like button if you like this video. Alright, so I have these topics for the day. So what is that I will be discussing in the introduction, basic introduction, like why should I have the branching statements, and what is the different types of branching statements is what I have in this if statements is what I'm going to discuss in this session. So I will be explaining one by one in detail. All right. So the importance of this session is all about you would have studied these statements in your previous programming languages. But the beauty of this session for all of you is I will also explain the theory part, and also parallelly I will explain the practical part. I will show you how exactly it is working. All right. So that is an advantage for all of you. So keep watching the session till the end so that you will enjoy. The movie is at the end. Okay. So don't forget to watch till end. So you will enjoy is what I feel. All right. So let me start with the introduction. So what exactly they say when a program breaks the sequential flow and jumps to another part of the code, it is called as branching. So this is what we need to understand. What exactly branching is all about. Imagine I have 100 lines of code. Okay, I have 100 lines of code. Usually I will be explaining the code one by one. Is it? I will be explaining the code one by one. Point number one. So point number two, if the code, how exactly the code is being executed? Come on, can anybody recollect? So one by one it is executing. That is a normal tendency, right? So but instead of executing the statements one by one, I will break the sequence, or I will break the sequential execution, and I will jump to the another part of the statement, or I will jump to the another part of the program. So that jumping is what I will call it as a branching. I'm breaking the sequential execution. So that is what I will call it as a branching. So fine, I have two types of branching. I can branch or I can jump based on two things. First one is conditional branching. Another one is unconditional branching. I have two types of branching, my dear students. One is based on condition you are jumping. If you satisfy that condition, you will jump to some other part of the program. Jumping in the sense what? You are skipping some part of the code. You are skipping the execution of some part of the code. So that is what I will call it as jumping. So you are jumping based on condition. Based on what? Based on condition. And also you have the second one, that is unconditional branching. So here I'll not be much worried about the condition is what you need to remember. I will explain these two in detail in the coming part of my session. All right. Let me start with the first one, decision making with if statement. The first if statement that I have is simple if statement. What is the first one that we have? Simple if statement. How exactly the simple if statement is all about. So what exactly we are doing with this simple if statements. So let me not bore you guys by saying all this masala which you have already studied. All right. So guys, I have already discussed, you all know about it. So we have 4 different types of if statements, which I'm going to discuss one by one in detail. The first one that I have is Simple if. What is the first one that I have? Simple if. That is the first one that I have. The second one that I have is if else. Third one that I have is nested if. The fourth one that I have is ladder if. Alright. The fourth one is ladder if. This is the 4 different types of if statements I have. So fine. The if statement is powerful decision making statements and it is used to control the flow of execution. We all know that. Alright. If the two-way decision making systems or the statements and is uniquely conjunction with an expression. So fine. What exactly they are trying to explain? For all the if statements, let me make that statement very simple to make you understand. For all the if statement, listen to me carefully. I will have the condition. What is that I will have? I will have the condition for all the if statement. If I satisfy this condition, only then that part will be true block will be executed. So how? So let's check that. So please observe here. This is a flowchart that I have with respect to simple if statement. The first one that I have is simple if. How exactly the simple if is working? Say for example, first the entry is happening. So what exactly we are doing here? We have a test expression. What is that we have? We have test expression or whatever the condition that you have, you can test here. Alright, I have the test expression. So I will test it. If the condition is true, whatever I have the test condition, if that condition is true, so I will start executing this block. If the condition is false, I will start executing this block. That's what you need to understand. Sir, what exactly is this? If the condition is true, I will start executing this. If the condition is false, I'll start executing this. What exactly it means, huh? Can you just show us like, how exactly the syntax looks like? Please look here. I have the if statement here. What is that I have? I have the if statement here. So this is what I will call it as a test expression or the condition. If the condition is true, whatever the test condition that I have here, if this test condition is true, this statement, so please observe, I'm using a word called block, statement block. Statement block in the sense you need to observe one thing and make a note of it. It is not one statement, I can have more than one statements. It is not mandatory that I should have only one statement or will allow it only for one statement. No, it is not like that. You can have n number of statements. So that's why I will call it as a statement block. So this block of code or this block of statements will be executed only if this condition is true. Suppose if this condition is not true, so it will skip this block and it will start executing this statement. So that's what you need to remember. I repeat, if this condition is true, this statement block will be executed. If this condition is false, so it is not executing this block at all. So it is coming and it is executing the statements which is outside the block. That's all about the simple if. I will show you the practical demo how exactly it is working in the end of the session with the IDE NetBeans. I will also show you how to use the NetBeans IDE. Alright. So this is what you need to remember. So fine. What is the next thing that I have? Alright. So you have the flowchart once again. So you will be able to understand it in a better way now. Alright. So here I have explained. Here I have explained with this. The same thing I will explain or I will depict it in a proper flowchart and you will understand the concept very clearly after the code. Alright. So please look here. So what is that I have here? I have the condition here. What is that I have? I have the condition here. So in this part, I'm checking the condition. Suppose if this condition is true, so this statement will be executed. This statement will be executed. Sir, you have given statement number 1. Is it only 1? No. So it can have n. Alright. So this is in the true block. This is what you need to remember. This is in the true block. True block in the sense what? So whatever I have within this bracket, whatever I have within this bracket, this is what I will call it as a statement 1. So which I have mentioned here. Alright. So after this statement, after executing this, so what it will execute? So it will execute this statement X. That's what you need to remember. So observe, if the condition is true, it will execute which is inside the block. After that, it will execute the statement, next statements. But if the condition is false, Observe the arrow. So it is directly skipping this block. It is skipping this block and it is started executing these statements. That's what you need to remember. This is very important that you need to understand this. Okay, this is all about the simple if statement. Let's move on to the next one, that is if else. What exactly if else is all about? We did not understood or we did not discuss what should I do if the condition is false. We just understood in this what should I do if the condition is true, but I did not mention anywhere in the program what should I do if the condition is false. Yes or no? So for that, to solve that problem, I have the next type of if statement, that is if else. Okay, in this part we have two parts. One is what I will call it as a true block, another one is what I will call it as a false block. Then what is true block, which one is true block, and which one is false block? Let's check that. Alright, so please observe, I have the keyword if, and then I have the test expression or my condition, whatever I want I can give, and then followed by I have the true block. Followed by I have the true block. If the condition is true, this true block will be executed, else. So I have one more block. Please observe, I'm using the keyword else here. What is the keyword that I'm using? I'm using the keyword else. So if I am using the keyword else, what happens? I have again some of the statements. I will again call it as a statements block. Again, I will call that as a statements block. So when do I execute this? I will call this as false block when the condition fails. So I will execute this. This is what I will call it as a false block. This is what I will call it as a true block. What does it mean, sir? If the condition is true, these statements will be executed. Suppose if the condition is false, these statements will be executed. Obviously, suppose if the condition is true, after executing these statements, it will start executing this. Suppose if the condition is false, after executing these statements will be executed. That's what you need to understand at this point of time. Let's check out the flow chart for this. How exactly it is happening? I have the condition. Obviously, I have two blocks, right? One is true block, another one is false block. So let's understand this. If the condition is true, I have the statement 1. So if the condition is true, I have the statement 1. Please observe here. So this is what I will call it as statement 1. Alright. So after executing the statement 1, so it will go to the next statement. So next statement in the sense what? Please observe here this statement. Statement X is what I am calling it as a next statement in the diagram. Alright. So this is one way. Another thing is, suppose if the condition is false, whatever the condition that you've given, so that is false. So here it will execute the statement 2. So this part, it is not going at all. So it is not going to this part at all. So it is skipping this part. So directly it is executing these statements, and then after that it is executing the next statement. So hope you understood what is next statement. So this is next statement, right? So after executing this false block, it is going to the next statement. So this is what you should know. This is what you should know when it comes to the if else. When it comes to the if else. Alright, let me show you how exactly this if statement and if else statement is working. Now I will show you the demo and I will show you the practical execution for this. So let's have a practical session. Welcome back to my practical session. So guys, whatever we have discussed in the theory part, the same thing, that is simple if and if else is what I would like to show you practically how exactly it is working. So you don't have to do anything, you just have to observe how exactly the practical programs are working with respect to the concept of simple if and if else. So now I would like to demonstrate that concept with the help of NetBeans IDE. So I will introduce you all to the NetBeans IDE. Probably this is the first time most of you, and you need to observe here this part of the screen is mainly dedicated to me, and whatever I type my program will be displayed here, and this is the part where you need to observe the output. Alright, if I run this program, you will be able to see the output here. So that's what I have organized my window like this. So let me explain the code for all of you now. So please observe what is that I have in my program. So let me annotate and let me explain this program for all of you. So what is that I have taken here? Please forget about the package. Right now, don't worry about the package as of now. And then my program starts here for all of you. I'm using the keyword public. By default, it is taking public because my class will be accessible throughout the program. That's what the meaning of public. So don't worry about this public keyword. So I have to use the keyword called class, and the name of the program that I have taken here is First Pro. So please observe, your first letter of the program should be in the uppercase. Okay, so fine. I have my program name as First Pro. That I wanted to give it as First Program, so that's why I've given it as First Pro. Then after that, followed by opening flower bracket, and for this opening flower bracket, I have the closing flower bracket here. That's what you need to remember. And then followed by, I have the main function. So you need to understand always your program execution starts from this main function. That's very important that you need to understand. So I have this main function. I know that. So why do I have all these things? What is the use of this? Whenever I was studying my C and C++ program, I was just using void main. I know void. What is void? It does not return anything. But why do I have this public and static? It's a new word for me. So if you have the question with you like this, you have not watched my previous video. I have explained in detail why do I have public, why do I have static, why do I have void, and what is string arguments. So please go back to my previous video and check what is that I have explained with that. Alright, so hope you will go back and check. Followed by that, I have the opening flower bracket here. So what is this opening flower bracket? This opening flower bracket, and here I have closed it here. Alright, so is it? No. So this is the closing flower bracket for this. So what is that? I have opening and closing flower bracket. For which function I have? For this main function. So whatever I have within this brackets, so everything is inside the main function is what you need to remember. So fine, I got the basic idea. So go ahead with the program now. Yes. What is that I have done here? So I have created a variable of type int and I have stored the value 10 in the variable a. So that's what I have done here. All right. After that, so picture starts from here. All right. So just observe. Let me erase everything now. So guys, what is that I have done there? So please observe. So here I have the simple if. I have used the simple if test condition or the text expression what we were speaking. All right. That's what I'm having here. A is greater than 5. What is A is greater than 5? I'm just checking the condition. If A is greater than 5, so print this statement system.out.println, which works exactly like my printf statement in my C programming language. I have explained what is what is out.println individually in my previous session. Please, I recommend all of you to go back and check that. All right, so what is that we are doing here? If this condition is true, so this statement, whatever I have given within double quotes, so this will be executed. Suppose if this statement is not true, so what will happen? It will skip this statement. So one more thing you need to understand. Suppose if this statement is true, so what will happen? So it will execute this statement. After that, so whatever the statement that I have after this block is what I will call it as a true block. This block is what I will call it as true block. When this block will be executed? When this condition is true. So this block will be executed. After that, so this statement will also be executed. Why? Because it is outside the block. That's what it should happen. So let me execute the program and let me show you how exactly it is working. All right. So let me run my program for all of you. So I have pressed F6. So it is giving me the output. So what is the output that I have? Please observe here, I have greater than 10. So what is that greater than 10? So whatever I have within this double quotes, that is the output that I have there. After that, so I have, what is the next line that I have? So this is outside the if block. So this is outside the if block. All right. So this is also printing. So this is what you need to observe. So check now. I will edit the program for all of you. So let's have the if statement here. All right. Let me add one if statement here. So how exactly it is working? Let's check. All right. I have the if statement system dot out dot println. So you will have the suggestion here, so you can select this here itself. All right, so let me select that. What should be the else? Okay, so let's greater than 10 is what let me just change it. Oh, it's not greater than 10. Okay, let's change it. Okay, greater than 5 is what I will give here, so that you will understand. All right, here, all right, this is my false block and this is my true block. So you need to understand here. Let me change my a value. So a value is right now it is 10. So let me demonstrate this first and then I will change the a value. So guys, if I run this program, so what should be my output? So obviously my a value is 10, right? So it is greater than 5. It should print greater than 5. Then after that, this is outside the if block. This is what my output should come. Let me show you the output. So now let me check, let me type F6 and I should get greater than 5. So here, please observe greater than 5. This is what I'm getting. This block is getting executed. Why? Because A is greater than 5. That's the reason. All right. So it's true, right? So I have A as 10. So the condition is I should check A is greater than 5. Is it true? Yes, of course it is true. That's why. So this statement is being executed. Then after that, so am I executing this statement? It's not. No, I'm not executing this statement. I'm skipping this part. Then after that, I'm executing the statement which is outside this block. That's what you need to observe. That is very important that you need to remember. So I'm not executing this. I'm executing only this and I'm skipping this. And then after that, I'm executing this. So this is outside the if block. That's what you need to observe here. Now, let me show you how exactly this false block is working. Let me show that. Let me change the a value now. So let me change the a value as 1. All right, let me save it and then I will run. So guys, please observe the output. So what I have, it is skipping this part. Okay, do I have it's greater than 5? No, I don't have that. So what I have is it's not is what I have printed there. That's what you need to observe. It's not, and then this statement is executed. Then after that, so it is executing the statement which is outside the block. So this is what you have to understand with respect to simple if and if else. So with this, I have come to an end of this session. Hope you have enjoyed and learned something new today. So if you want to know about the next different types of if statement, please do watch my next session. So till then, take care of your health, take care of your family. Thank you. Bye-bye.